Now we'll go to the last of the episodes on this, but very important. Hitherto, we have had dealt with verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and effective ways of establishing that communication, the techniques which are required to be used by the mediator. That's not sufficient. We need to have something more. And what is that something more? They are very basic, the nature, which are required to be handled by the mediator. And now we will deal with each one of them in this episode. Mediator requires to speak clear words, put things in logical sequence when he's talking to the parties. How he should behave, courteous nature, always attentive. Do not interrupt during communication process. This is very important and this is core to mediation, core to mediator skills. When party is making certain statements, maybe however irrelevant according to you, but it is relevant according to him. And it may be repetitive, but it is not for him. So please listen to him fully. Do not interrupt or make observations, responses. You are bound to listen to him without any interruption. When he has completed the communication, acknowledge the communication. As I said, by restating or paraphrasing or reflecting, you express that you have understood his communication. And if there is any correction made by him, please be gracious enough to accept it and add it and say, yes, I had forgotten. I will include that and restate once again to his satisfaction and confirm that you have made the proper confirmation. Don't make any statements, comments, judgments, responses. Probably it could trigger a negative reaction from the party. He is there to speak and you are there to listen. You're not there to speak and he has to be heard fully and you should not make any interruption there. Use simple, plain language, clearly understandable. Parties may be coming from different backgrounds, maybe a villager, maybe an executive, maybe a well-read man. But while you are making statement, you make it simple, precise and clear. Use always short sentences so that it is easily understandable to all of them. Try to compartmentalize. Take one topic at a time and try to convey the meaning, convey the essence of it. Do not mix up issues. You avoid repetitions. Be precise. Formulate the message to be communicated. It's not easy. Once your role begins, that is to say, whether to paraphrase, reframe, or restate, whatever be it, be clear as to what is that you are saying. Maybe if you have not been able to understand, get a clarification before you restate. Once you restate, if you're still not able to convey it, please note down in a slip of paper, probably look at the notes and convey it through that. Formulate your message to be communicated. Use warmth and empathy. Give an impression that you are always interested in knowing things. Give an impression that you are always interested in knowing things from the party. Let it not be interrogation. It is a sort of a attentiveness where you're trying to know more about the party, eager to understand from him. That makes the party to encourage to him to talk freely and express freely before you. Ensure eye contact. This is very important. You may be hearing and you may be looking elsewhere. That is not good. That's not sufficient. You should be looking at the party and the eye contact should be maintained so that the party is getting a feeling that here is a man is trying to understand me, listen to me. These are some of the words which are not acceptable, which are on the left side, and which are the acceptable words are on the right side. Please do not use the words like fault, blame, liability, rights, etc., which are on the left side. They are not conducive words. Probably they are very negative words and the parties do not like it. They may be using it, but try to avoid these words. Preferably, these are the words which can be replaced. This is all positive words: role, responsibility, duties, values, factual difference, evidence, conflicting testimony, etc., which are there on the right side. Once you make these positive use of positive words will take the mediation forward. Use of the negative words takes the mediation backward and probably terminate the very mediation itself. There are also barriers to communication. There are barriers to effective communication. Atmosphere being not congenial. Hold mediation in a peaceful place, away from all the uh, hold mediation in a peaceful place. Let the atmosphere be congenial. Allow one party to talk at a time. Do not have two people talking at the same time. Parties, proximity of time, proximity. So give the parties proximity. Maintain a safe distance from both the parties. Equal distance, I would say. Maintain equal distance from both the parties, and see to it that there is no present third party present in the mediation. That is to say, in some mediations we see one party coming with his colleague and another party coming all alone. Maybe the presence of the colleague of the other side may not be comfortable to the party who is on the other side. Therefore, do not allow such situation where if you find that the party is not comfortable by the presence of the colleague, please request him to go out of the mediation room. Avoid noise because that will not be helping you in communicating effectively. There are also other barriers we have segregated as emotional, nature of parties, their emotional quotient, feeling of inferiority, superiority, guilt or arrogance. Best example is employer and employee relationship and when they are in mediation in the same room together. Fear, suspicion, when one of the party has a fear that talking in the presence of the other may not be conducive, you have to be extremely watchful of this and avoid such mistrust being built through the mediation. The party may get a feeling that observations which you have made, so you have to be extremely careful about that. Language barrier is one of the most important barrier. Ensure that you have the knowledge of the language, you are able to speak the language of the party, because nothing like having talking to the party in his own language. It could be a local language or it could be any other language. Sometimes the accent, vocabulary also matters. What you say may not be understood by the other party, so you have to be very clear in your accent also. Do not be showing your short temperedness, emotional outbursts, irritation, anger. Sometimes it could be difference in culture, financial barrier, social barrier, etc. Now, what are the effective ways of handling this by mediator? Avoid judgmental observations. Don't criticize. Don't diagnose. Don't give moral values. Don't praise. Do not evaluate. Do not send solutions. Do not threaten. Do not advise. Do not assure anything in the mediation. Do not give an impression that you are going to solve all their problems. Do not ask questions which could be sometimes very inappropriate, or it could be offensive, and therefore the parties are feeling very hurt about it. Do not ever cross-examine. Saying this, it is very important that we have to understand the role of the mediator in mediation. Mediator is not a judge. Mediator is not a lawyer. Mediator is not one who knows or he is able to give his opinion. He is not an expert on any subject. Then what is the role of a mediator? Mediator is only the facilitator. He has to provide a platform for the parties to sit, discuss, develop a debate, entertain a dialogue, try to find the meeting point between the two parties without these things which you are now seeing on the screen. You are not forming opinion. You are not here called to give advice and suggest the remedies. The remedies are always within the control of the parties. They may take it, they may not take it. You are only a controller of the process. The result, the outcome is controlled by the parties. You cannot control the result of the parties to say, you take this result, you do not take this result, this is good for you, this is not good for you, this is legal, this is illegal. No, it's a strict no. And mediator is only to facilitate between the two parties, and the parties will definitely find a solution by themselves. That's the key to mediation and facilitation by mediator. Sometimes we have seen that the mediators show their shock by raising the eyebrow or expressing it directly, dominating, commanding parties, warning parties. These are strict no to mediator. Mediator cannot use this at any time. This is very important. Buying only one side of the story and believing it and accepting it. Allowing one party to control the mediation. I repeat, mediator controls the process. The party controls the outcome. There is a subtle difference, and therefore that has to be understood. Giving an example, suppose a owner of a car allows a driver to use the car. Driver drives, but the destination is decided by the owner. Suppose the owner says that he has to be taken to Nasik from Bombay. It is for the driver to drive and take the owner to the destination. The roles cannot be mixed up. They should know each other, their respective roles. Driver can only drive and owner can only guide or direct the driver to go. So mediator controls the process, not the outcome. The parties control the outcome, not the process. Do not allow the parties to hijack the mediation process. You should have the tact and skill to ensure that you control this process by all these methods which we have shown and not by force. Do not push your values. Do not suggest solutions. Do not ask them to agree or disagree, express remorse. It's not for the mediator to do it. Sometimes the parties say, if my opposite party says, sorry, I think I will give up my case. I'll not continue further in the litigation. You cannot compel the other party to say, please say sorry and we'll end the mediation and it will be a very happy ending. It cannot be forced by the mediator. It's for the party to say whether he would like to say sorry or not. Mediator can only say that the other party expects that you have to say sorry. What is that you have got to say for that? And he cannot put his words on the party and control the party to say what he wants the other party to say or he wants to say. Mediator has to identify the interest shift the parties from position to interest and needs. Please note, position could be the stand taken by the party which he has to see and move him from that stand, because his stand versus the opposite party's stand both cannot go together. Both have to make a move towards the interest. When the interest is focused, the parties are able to see each other's point of view. And the mediator's job is to do that effectively by shifting the focus from position to interest. We have already dealt it in the time of reframing. Shift values to interest. The very important aspect which we are now dealing is active listening. Mediator, we have been saying, that has to have a very important skill up his sleeves, and that is listening attentively, or called as active listening. Firstly, you should be a good listener. You should develop the habit of listening without interruption, mind chattering. You should be just listening without framing your opinion. You should have the conscious effort to hear and understand and respond at the appropriate time, not in between. You should also listen to the expressions, the body languages which are made by the party, and also observe that very carefully, along with the verbal statement made by the party. When you are making the mediation, when you are in the process of mediation, you face the speaker, maintain an eye contact, be attentive, keep an open mind, listen non-critically, listen with empathy, show that you care for the parties. You're not there to help them. You're only there to facilitate them and they find the result. Understand their feeling, emotion, tone, voice, attitude. How do you get this? Probably by following this method, which is called as SOLER. SOLER. Please note, it is not just enough if you are listening. You should also give an impression that you are listening by your expression, by your body language. So for which the SOLER can be effectively used. Face the speaker squarely. Use open stance. Lean a bit forward to give an impression that you are there to listen to him. Maintain regular eye contact. Be relaxed. If you are relaxed, automatically the other side, namely the party before you, also will relax. Don't hurry through the process. Don't be in a hurry to close the mediation. The more the time you spend in mediation, faster will be the solution. We all say in mediation, start slow to end fast. Slower you go, faster is the solution in mediation. That is to say, the entire process of mediation is by the mediator, who controls the process and gives an impression that he is here to not to hurry it. He's here to go through the entire process. Then automatically the parties, they'll come to terms, they'll come to accept the solutions, they find their own solution, and they concentrate, they cooperate with the mediator. And through the mediator, the entire process gets concluded by a solution, sometimes a wonderful creative solution. Communication is key to mediation. Through the skills which are now being told, both verbal and non-verbal, mediator enables and facilitates the parties to participate in mediation with open mind, express freely without there being any fear or favor by the mediator, participate to their best and get the best result out of the mediation, and also focus them towards their possible solution. Mediator is only a catalyst, an activator, and through his process, more particularly the process of communication, the mediation process moves very smoothly. So, in one word, communication is a facilitation process. Through all these episodes which you have so far dealt, you can make the facilitation process and help the parties in arriving at their own solution. Thank you. I hope this was very helpful to you. We'll meet again. Thank you.